today on What the F News. Florida has become so Florida that Florida has created the Florida Games to make fun of all the crazy shit that goes down in Florida. An Australian man mistakes his pee hole for a battery slot and gets the shock of his life. A man wearing a kilt in Texas likes to try out his items before he buys them, and we're not talking about clothes. And a hospital worker gets slapped with serious charges after bringing his fetish of sucking toes to work with him. Gross. I have 11 brand new stories that'll make you permanently want to remove the word common off the phrase common sense, so stick around. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of What the Fuck News, your source for the top WTFs from around the world from this past week. I am your host, Craig, and as always, if you do enjoy the episode, don't forget, like and subscribe. So let's jump right into this week's fuckery, shall we? The Florida Man Games kicked off this past Saturday in St. Augustine, and yes, this is absolutely everything that you were hoping it would be. Competitors dress up in tank tops and cut-off shorts to compete in the most Florida-type shit possible. The competitions include everything from sumo-style wrestling while holding pitchers of beer, running from police while jumping over fences and avoiding obstacles, to even attempting to grab cash out of the air in hurricane-simulated winds. James Gordon of DeLand won the first event, which involved wolfing down a plate loaded with barbecue and sausage. After washing down his victory with a beer, most likely a Budweiser, he let out one of the best quotes I've heard in a while, saying that outsiders call these events. He calls this a regular Tuesday afternoon. Now, I've personally reached out to the planning committee in hopes that we can add a couple more events, such as bath salt-fueled gator wrestling and a little game we like to call Are Those Fireworks or Gunshots? I'm still waiting for a call back, and that'll most likely be coming from somebody wearing a tap-out shirt drinking a Smirnoff Ice. A New York City man has been fined and sentenced to probation after he attempted to play a game of Wiener Roulette and smuggle 3 Burmese pythons through the American-Canada border in his pants. The Queens resident purchased the snakes for more than $2,500 from a reptile store in Canada, then crossed into northern New York with the snakes hidden on a bus from Montreal. Unfortunately, the man was busted when the snakes were discovered by U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers. So is that a snake in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? Oh, I'm just happy to see you. Very happy to see you. The Burmese python, which is one of the world's largest snakes, is considered a vulnerable species in its native land of Asia, but is considered invasive in Florida, where it threatens the native animals. Because of this, the importation of these animals is highly regulated by an international treaty. But dude, honestly, just get a fucking dog. Look at that face. This is Chloe. And she can even high five. Check it out. Can your python high five? I didn't think so. But hey, since we're already on the subject of snakes, a woman in Louisiana got quite the surprise when she returned to her car from a store visit to find that she had a stowaway, a yellow-bellied river snake. Mind your fucking business. The woman told reporters that upon leaving the AT&T store in Lafayette, she noticed what looked like a string hanging from the bottom of her car. As she got closer, she realized that it was actually a live snake. Nearby patrons helped the woman out by removing the snake and placing it in a nearby bush. But this isn't the first story this week of one of these devil creatures trying to catch a ride. Personnel at a Coast Guard air station in Clearwater, Florida, fucking Florida, man, recently found a corn snake napping on one of the tail wheels of one of their helicopters.
Sir, I'm not sure, but it looks like there's a snake back here.
A 73-year-old Australian man whose favorite hobbies include long walks on the beach, picnics, and shoving batteries into his penis via his urethra has left doctors shocked when 3 of those batteries got stuck. Wait, hold on. So is that where this little dude's batteries go? After waiting over 24 hours with the batteries still lodged in his urethra, the man finally decided to take himself to a local medical facility. The man was surprised to find out that immediate surgery was needed, as the corrosiveness of batteries can cause necrosis in as little as 2 hours. Upon removal, each of the batteries was coated in a black tar-like substance, and the man's urethra had suffered extensive burns. The man admitted to using the batteries for sexual gratification, but also said he had never had issues removing the batteries before. But unfortunately, the nightmare did not end there. 10 days later, the man returned to the hospital with reports of swelling and discharge, which prompted doctors to aggressively operate yet again. The doctor's worst fears had come true, as the man had developed an extensive case of necrosis, and needless to say, he now pees sitting down.
Does my dick work?
No.
Kill me.
The damage was so extensive that the doctors decided that reconstruction wouldn't even be an option. So moral of the story, and I thought it went without saying, but fellas, do not shove batteries up your dick hole. Period. Starbucks in China has introduced a new latte flavor, pork. According to KABS, the interesting new ingredient will be introduced as a sauce and a new garnish to commemorate the Lunar New Year. And for those not aware, which included myself, the Lunar New Year began on Saturday, February 10th. The pork-flavored latte will combine the pork flavor sauce with the traditional dressings of a latte, being espresso and steamed milk. The specialty drink will also include extra pork sauce on top of the drink, with a piece of pork breast meat skewered on top. But please, leave me a comment. I'm curious. Would you try this latte? A 60-year-old man wearing a kilt in a Texas antique shopping mall was arrested after surveillance footage, as well as quite a few other shoppers, witnessed him shoving a variety of objects from multiple vendors up his ass before pulling them out and putting them right back on the shelf. So I just want to emphasize really quickly, he was not stealing these items. He was simply shoving them up his ass and then putting them right back. The makeshift sex toys included a bottle opener, a makeup brush, and a tobacco tin. The incidents actually occurred at two separate shops, the Antique Gallery of Houston and the Curiosity Shop, because boy was he curious, both of which are located on Town Drive in Spring, Texas. Both of the shops have agreed to press charges, as the man suitcased roughly $200 across both stores. All right, everybody. Now this isn't gore, because Craig's not about that life, but I gotta warn you, this next picture alone made me a little queasy. This content creator right here, from you guessed it, Florida, is eating raw chicken every day for 100 days, or until he's hospitalized. Now, as of making this video, the man, otherwise known as John, was on day 33 and still perfectly healthy. He says he realizes the dangers in this undertaking and is very careful to also warn his viewers of the dangers as well. But he actually claims that this is a personal experiment. According to John, the fact that they serve raw chicken in Japan has always made him wonder. He was quoted as saying, "I don't think it's the raw chicken itself that will kill you. It's more of what they're doing to these animals in the factory farms." All right, now I can't deny anything that he just said right there. Now, am I going to go eat raw chicken? Fuck no. But if you don't also agree that our food standards are a little below par in this country, you're either stupid or just ignorant to what actually goes on in these farms. He claims that all of the raw chicken that he's been consuming has been coming from the same farm in Florida, where no antibiotics, chlorine, or injections are used. But surprisingly, this is not the first stunt he's pulled. 2 years ago, he vlogged about eating raw meat from Whole Foods Market every day until he died from bacteria, but simply fell bored after 200 days and quit without ever getting sick. Now, I don't know how y'all feel about that, but to me, that's a pretty large what the fuck. An unidentified pilot in Ohio drew a penis in the sky, as well as wrote the word "see ya" in a 6-hour flight from Saturday night into Sunday morning. But look how elegant he is with this, man. He actually wrote the word "see ya" in cursive.
Cursing?
Cursive, everybody can
Okay, look, it doesn't matter.
Most people can't even do that with their hands. Mr. Fancy Pants over here. And although it is still not clear exactly who the culprit is, the artist quickly developed a fan base online. Based on the public information available on Flight Radar 24, it looks like the plane might belong to Midwest Corporate Air Inc., a flight school located in Bellefontaine, Ohio. The school has been reached out to by multiple outlets, but hasn't gotten back to anybody yet. Now, if you want my opinion, I think the man's trying to take some tips from the dentist system, and he's trying to demonstrate his value to his upcoming Bumble date. Sir, we're all rooting for you.
You can do it!
A man has been busted for stealing ammo and bacon from a Walmart in East Freedom, Pennsylvania. Whew. Wow. Hold on, sorry. There was just a whole bunch of action words in that last sentence. I mean, we just had ammo, bacon, Walmart, and freedom all together in one sentence. My cup of Murica runneth over. Freedom Township police officers responded to a call from Walmart on Saturday afternoon about a man filling up a shopping cart and attempting to leave the store without paying. Upon arrival, the police found the man still trying to escape the store with over 140 items in his cart, valued at around $1,200. The stolen items included 5 boxes of 12-gauge Remington brand shotgun shells, bacon, and an assortment of other meats. But I'll be fully transparent. I'm sitting over here praying that his original plans were to make some bacon-wrapped bullets for anybody that's disrespecting the flag. The suspect already had a warrant out for him on unrelated burglary charges and remains in custody at Blair County Prison. A man in Toronto is sentenced to prison time after tricking 2 men into anonymous sex through a hole in a sheet. Now, that's the headline that I read, but we're all adults here and let's just call a spade a spade. That's a glory hole. Now, how does that work, you may ask?
Partition acts as a physical barrier, thus ensuring anonymity throughout the spontaneous act of copulation, or fellatio, or at the very least, a hand job.
And you may also be wondering, why would somebody want to have sex with somebody they can't even see?
Why wouldn't you want to have sex with someone you can't see?
I got to apologize for the Dennis Clips. I love that guy. But on 2 separate occasions in 2020, Mr. Glory Hole himself convinced 2 separate men that he was actually a woman by the name of Angela. But let's just be honest here. Any man that is invited to a glory hole and then is surprised when the person on the other side of the glory hole is also a man is a fucking idiot. I mean, like simple jack status. Unfortunately for Mr. Angela, the hoax came to an end when the second man pulled down a sheet to find our suspect cowering in the corner in a black wig. The 33-year-old man has been convicted of 2 counts of sexual assault and has been sentenced to 28 months in prison, 14 months for each count. And he's also going to be added to the sex offenders registry for the next 10 years. But hey, there's a little bit of a silver lining here. I mean, it seems like Mr. Angelo was really just trying to show off his bagpipe skills. And he's definitely going to a place where those are going to be appreciated.
I had your mother. She wasn't that great.
Good luck. Well, since we started off this episode with a Florida story, might as well end it with a story from Florida as well. And now I'm not sure if you've been keeping count, but this is 4 Florida mentions in one episode. I mean, how does one say that a state is batshit crazy without actually saying that a state is batshit crazy? A 23-year-old hospital employee has been arrested on felony battery charges for allegedly sucking on the toes of an elderly female patient. Fucking gross. This all took place at the Gulf Coast Hospital in Fort Myers, Florida. The incident took place late at night when the employee was actually in charge of monitoring another patient. The victim, feeling her toe being touched and later realizing that it was actually being sucked on, confronted the employee before alerting a nurse. During questioning, the suspect admitted to having no clear reasons for his actions, but claimed he was simply vulnerable at that time. He has been charged with a serious felony, which highlights the vulnerability of hospital patients and the serious legal implications of violating their safety and their dignity. So to the general audience, keep your foot fetish in check. Seriously. This includes you, Chloe.
Okay, I'll try my best.
So I believe that's going to be wrapping up our episode today. Thank you everybody so much for joining. And I hate to sound monotonous, but I gotta say it. As always, if you did enjoy, don't forget, like and subscribe. Your boy still needs all the help he can get. I plan on keeping these videos coming, and if there's ever a story or anything that you want me to cover, please feel free to reach out. So, until next time, and as always, take care of yourselves out there, and peace.